I'm meteorologist Bailey Braun, and you already know there's a lot happening across the state, especially in Southeast, where the most dangerous impacts are actively happening. This includes flooding danger as well as those avalanche risks. Now, we also have some impactful events taking place in South Central as well, and now those impacts are beginning to move up north into the interior with the snowfall moving in. So I'll tell you all that you can expect right here, right now, all for Southeast, South Central, and for the interior.
Each of our donations up to
we'll just jump right into it with these first alert updates now. Beginning in Southeast, these extreme risks are likely for flooding, avalanches, and landslides. We've been seeing a lot of this heavy rain moving in through the region, and this heavy rain is not going to stop for a while. We're going to see this all through the entire weekend, and this will also last into next week with a secondary storm system moving on in by Tuesday night. So these impacts are only going to increase as we progress into next week. Now for South Central, this avalanche warning is in effect across the Chugach region as well as the Kenai Mountains. So I'll tell you more about that as the snowfall begins to move in. But the same storm bringing these impacts to Southeast is bringing these impacts into the interior as well. So I can tell you all about what to expect in just one moment.
Don't be throwing all your money away now. Do what I did. Make the call.
1-833-661-3264. 1-833-661-3264. 1-833-661-3264.
Drive less, pay less.
All right, so I guess we had a problem with the audio. Please let me know if there's still an issue. I'll try to fix that. But in the meantime, hopefully I solved the problem and I can tell you more about these avalanche and flooding risks. Now, this is for Southeast continuing today and even into tomorrow. This heavy rain is going to continue on top of this deep snowpack. Now, Melissa Fry was on yesterday and she had said that the rain is falling onto all of this heavy snow, and the snow is acting as a sponge. It begins to absorb that rainfall, and as these warmer temperatures begin to move in, it's getting more and more saturated, meaning this snow is beginning to get much heavier, and with that snow melt, that's going to lead to this increased risk for this flooding. Now, on top of this, not only are we dealing with these flooding impacts as a result of this snow melt and this rain, but we're also dealing with avalanche risks as well. So Juneau is surrounded by avalanches, so hold on, I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what the problem is with this, with the background audio, so I'll try to fix that if I can. Please stay tuned, I'm still working on this. Okay, I think I got it this time, finally. It was hidden in many, many tabs, but okay. So with this avalanche risks, we're continuing to monitor that flooding potential and again, that avalanche zone. As Juneau is essentially surrounded by mountains, that avalanche risks lasts and exists into these neighborhoods as well. So if you visit the CBJ website, they do have a map where you can see what regions are likely to be in the avalanche zone, which is where you should be evacuating, because as I mentioned, this avalanche risk is only going to increase as we progress into next week. So right now, this is a live look at Egan Drive, and this is where you can see all those roads that are wet. Yesterday, last night actually, we saw that one lane was completely covered in water as that snow began to melt, and you can see as a result the snow is getting dirtier and dirtier, which shows you that all of that rain and that wetness is starting to affect the surrounding areas. So that just shows that there's more water on these roads, more of that snow melt, which is why we're getting some of that dirty snow on the side of the roads as a result. So it's just interesting to see just on this live camera these impacts that are taking place. Now right now these temperatures are pretty warm at 37 degrees, which means that there is still more snow melt on the way, and this precipitation is going to be that rain with these warmer temperatures. So this is that map of the avalanche risk zone that I had just mentioned. This is on the CBJ website. We also have a blog where there is live updates, and we also link that map in there. So if you go to our website, alaskasnewssource.com, we have two articles right now, the first alert article and the live update article. So you can find that information in either of those places, but this is that avalanche risk zone. You can see that there's a few areas where that risk goes over the main road, and that becomes a dangerous hazard. Now, this has receded just slightly back behind some of these neighborhoods, but still, if you do live in any of these zones where it's highlighted in red, you need to be careful and make sure you do take those precautions if you are advised to evacuate. It's much better to be safe than sorry, and don't have the mindset that it couldn't happen to you, because if it can, it may happen to you. So just be careful and be aware of what's happening in your area. And of course, there's press releases given out by the CBJ, and that's where you can find more of that information as well. Now, as we look ahead, just tonight, more of that rain is going to push into the overnight hours. Now, you can see a lot of that snow sticking around in those higher elevation regions, so it's important to be aware of that avalanche risk, because that melting is not only going to impact that landslide effect, but with this snow adding on to those higher elevations, that also becomes an issue. So all across the region, you can see more of that heavy and moderate rainfall moving into a lot of these areas, but the important thing that I really want to put out there is that this flood danger, very significant in Juneau. As we know, we've already been seeing it on these roadways, even into some of these homes we've seen some flooding. However, there have been landslides reported in a few of these areas, including Sitka, but the biggest risk for this flooding danger is going to be the southern portion of the Panhandle. This is where we're seeing a lot of the heaviest amounts of rainfall, so that includes Craig, Ketchikan, Petersburg, all of that area highlighted in that neon green. As you get more south, those are the areas where a lot more of that rain is going to move in. So get ready for more of that rain underway. That avalanche advisory is still underway for Juneau. Again, check the CBJ website for more information on what areas are at risk, but that winter storm warning is still continuing for White Pass, and of course that's a much higher elevation area, and that's where more of that snow is likely to occur, with an additional 13 inches forecasted, but that rain about half an inch to an inch if any of those surrounding areas see warmer temperatures. But these wind gusts will rise up to 35 miles per hour. Now again, the biggest impact is going to be this flood watch that we're monitoring, with the heaviest amount of rainfall in the southern portion. So I can give you a second to check this out, and in the meantime, I just want you to know, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching this, that right now I'm going to take you through southeast updates currently, and then I'll take you through what you can expect in South Central, but then I'll get into the interior. So while there's obviously a lot of places across the state that we aren't touching on right now, we'll try to touch on that later on or in the broadcast. As many of you know, this is the biggest state in the country, so there's a lot of area to cover in a short amount of time. So we try to do our best with that, but of course, if ever you don't get the forecast that you want, or really any details for your area that you live in, please never hesitate to reach out. We love to try to help, and we love to try to communicate what we can to you. So if you do want that information, never hesitate to reach out, and we try to do our best with the information that we have and the time that we're given as well. So for Juneau, as we look ahead at our 7-day, that first alert day was extended into Sunday with that heavy rainfall moving in. Now again, I do want to say it one more time, we do have a secondary storm that is likely to move through the area by Tuesday night into Wednesday. That is going to bring in these warmer temperatures, as we see these temperatures continuing on above freezing, and that's going to bring that second round of heavy rainfall. So again, these impacts could last for another week or so, so it's important to take the precautions that are necessary and to stay informed as best as you can. Now, as we shift gears to South Central, I'll be taking you through all that you can expect here. In Anchorage right now, we see that heavy snowfall. Just looking outside, we've got some pretty thick flakes going on, so the snow is going to last all the way into Sunday morning. However, conditions will clear significantly as Sunday approaches. So as we get through Sunday, the skies will begin to clear a little bit more. We just have to get through the morning portion where the snow is still likely. So temperatures right now significantly warmer than what they've been recently. I mean, nearly 20 degrees. I walked outside this morning and it felt like t-shirt weather. It was so much warmer than what we've been seeing lately. But as we look ahead, you can see that snowfall still going to stick around into Sunday morning, but then it begins to clear out significantly by the afternoon and into Monday. So that's what you can expect. That snowfall is going to stick around for Sunday. And these higher elevation regions, especially as you begin to move up north on the highway into the southern interior and the northern portion of South Central, that's where heaviest amounts of snowfall are likely. And again, higher elevation regions are going to see a lot more snow as well. We do also have an avalanche warning underway for the Kenai Mountains and the Chugach Range, so be sure to steer clear of any backcountry areas, because those areas are likely to have an avalanche with all this heavy snowfall underway. But with our snowfall expected, we could see between 4 to 8 inches into Anchorage, and this is going to be for that total accumulation. Now, this obviously is just one model data, but several varying data sets have said different amounts, so it really could be anything. And I know that's not a great answer for a lot of you when you would love to have, you know, more of a solid estimate for that snow accumulation, but really it could range from 4 to 8 inches. However, up to a foot is likely in those higher elevation regions, so that's kind of what you can expect. Now, with these weather alerts all across South Central, there's that avalanche warning I had mentioned. This is going to stick around into tomorrow morning, again for that Chugach Range and the Kenai Mountains. So the accumulating snowfall is going to add that danger to these mountain ranges and add the danger to the backcountry areas. But if you like to snowboard or ski, go to the resorts. Don't go in the backcountries on your own. That's where the danger lives. So with this winter weather advisory, here's a little bit of a better look at those snow estimates for Anchorage, the Kenai Valley, Kenai into the valley, as well as Valdez. About 4 to 8 inches of snow are likely. For the higher elevation regions, 8 to 12 inches of snow are likely. This includes Eagle River, but for McCarthy, 6 to 14 inches. It's a very wide range. But for the northwest, South Central portion and southwest interior, that's again where the heaviest amounts of snowfall are likely to fall. About 9 to 18 inches are likely. So here is your 7-day for Anchorage. Again, in the morning hours Sunday, that's when we'll continue to see a little bit of that snowfall, but it will clear into the afternoon with partly sunny skies forecasted, and the high temperature still staying pretty warm at 17 degrees. But then these lows do begin to drop quite quickly just by tomorrow night into Monday, and then Monday night into Tuesday. All right, interior, it's your turn. We don't forget about you, but now you have some active weather going on. So right now in Fairbanks, it is snowing quite a bit, and you can expect a couple of inches to accumulate. So right now it's -7 degrees. Again, that's way warmer than what it's been lately when it has been -25, -30 degrees. Now it's -7. So as you look ahead, this same storm system that brought all of this flooding and all of this snow to Southeast and South Central, it is making its way up to you into Fairbanks and across the interior, where the heaviest amounts of snowfall is likely across westward interior and the southwest interior. So this is going to continue all day today and even linger a little bit in the overnight hours tomorrow into Sunday morning, but it will clear up into the afternoon quite a bit, and then Monday, relatively calm and dry conditions. So it's really going to stay put just for today and into tomorrow morning, very similar to what South Central can expect. So that's what you can look forward to. So I'll give you your regional forecast with your north slope forecast and western forecast as well. So for the interior, snow all across the region. This is mostly going to be some scattered showers of snow with these temperatures about 15 below zero. Now for the north slope, staying mostly dry, mostly cloudy for Utqiagvik and Wainwright. However, you will see some light snow showers for Dead Horse and Anaktuvik. But for western Alaska, you're going to stay mostly clear and dry. However, the biggest concern is going to be these colder temperatures. So brace for more of those cold temperatures. Some strong wind gusts in Kotzebue at 40 miles per hour. Otherwise, sustained winds around 15 to 20 miles per hour in areas like Bethel, Nome, and into Gamble. Now, for Gamble, these temperatures are actually a little bit warmer than what I have seen in the past recent days, but for the Aleutian chain, these temperatures are dropping slightly. Last week they were in the upper 30s and 40s, but now they're in the low 30s and into the mid 20s. So wind gusts up to 45 and 50 miles per hour. ADAC does have a chance to see some of that snow, otherwise mostly cloudy and mostly dry. So here's a better look at these winter alerts, are these winter weather alerts across the interior. So what's highlighted in purple is that winter weather advisory that is in effect now through Monday morning. Here you can expect to see 2 to 4 inches in Ilsen and Salcha, and for those higher elevation regions, 9 to 18 inches. So with that winter storm warning now until Monday morning, snow is likely in the Fairbanks metro area, about 4 to 8 inches, but as you progress westward, that's where 6 to 12 inches are likely. Now, 7 to 14 inches are likely along the Dalton Highway. Expect reduced visibility and those highest accumulations again, more westward and into the southwest portion of the interior. All right, your 7-day for tomorrow, and just for this upcoming week, again, that snow lingering into tomorrow morning. It will dry up and clear up just a bit into the afternoon, but then these colder temperatures are back on the way by Monday and into Tuesday, with those overnight lows reaching into 30 below, and that's what you can expect in the upcoming week. So it's a lot of information. As always, I try to do my best. We all try to do our best here in the weather department, but I know that there's still some areas that didn't quite get their forecast. But it's important to know that where there's significant weather and the most dangerous impacts, especially in Southeast right now, where this is life-threatening conditions, that's where the attention is focused on. So during the broadcast today, I of course will be focusing my attention on Southeast as this flooding and avalanche risk just begins to climb as we get through the weekend and into next week. But I'll do my best to mention South Central as well as the interior as we get into that full weather forecast. But for full weather, it's going to be solely focused on Southeast with these really imminent impacts. So with that, I will let everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Try to be safe and of course stay warm with all of this wintry weather underway.